Welcome to Advicta and our next installment. This week, we're delighted to be reconnecting with People Development Manager Tim Prendergast as he discusses the impact of COVID-19 on employees' well-being and how he has looked to address these issues. Moreover, Tim gives us his views on the future of the workplace and what it could look like. Tim, by background, is a former Paralympic gold medalist and world record holder. Tim, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Hi, Steve.
Well, thank you very much. You're our first podcaster, so it's a pleasure to have you back. I was very keen to understand, how it's all unfolded for you. Obviously, you've been in the middle of it within your role. How's it been?
It's been really busy, and perversely, there's been quite a few upsides to the last 4 months, particularly in the realms of well-being. It's something I've been passionate about for a long time, but this current situation has really brought that to the fore, and it's been really positive throughout our organisation, with sort of many people accessing the offerings that we're giving them, ranging from meditation sessions to lifestyle podcasts with senior leaders. So it's been a real interesting ride. I've heard the term Coronacoaster used, and it's probably an apt term for our business and what's been happening over the last 4 months.
And presumably within that, you've seen individuals absolutely thrive in this environment, but likewise, you've seen individuals struggle.
Yeah, definitely. And that term that was used quite early on in terms of us being in the same storm and in different boats is so accurate to describe the situation. So you talk about people who, we've gone from a business that was almost completely office-based to working completely remotely. And people that have thrived are quite often, actually, paradoxically, those that weren't that accustomed to working in the office. So people that have got a bit of space at home and can operate that way have done okay. Whereas some of, I guess, our younger colleagues who might live in a flat share in central London, sharing the Wi-Fi with 5 others, that's been a real challenge. And haven't even mentioned sort of the childcare challenges that many have faced as well. But through all of it, there have been opportunities. And as we talked about people thriving, people that perhaps didn't access things like well-being previously or have a regular exercise regime, those sorts of things have been picked up and have really proved useful, not only for well-being, but for productivity overall.
And Tim, do you have a view in terms of the way in which the workplace will look like going forward? I know it's the million-dollar question that everybody's asking.
Yeah, certainly. And there's lots of ideas flying around at the moment. And I think one thing for sure is that we will be working more from home, hopefully not sort of 100% of the time, but certainly talks around how office spaces might look, and certainly less computers at desks and having our own assigned desk, but more very much the office space being that place to commune, that place to host customers, that place where you'll go and build a real company culture. And so almost that flip where previously maybe we worked 1 or 2 days a week at home could turn to 1 or 2 days in the office. But it's really, really important with all of that we keep those connections going and making sure that we're making the most of our situation, hopefully through working 100% remotely. In the previous world, the majority of our time in the office, we're able to take the best of both worlds into whatever this new normal might be.
And Tim, lastly, have you got any tips for individuals, thinking to the next 3-6 months? I mean, obviously, people will be returning back to the office, hopefully in due course. Hopefully we don't see a second spike. But if people want to continue on that road to improvement, are there any tips you can offer?
Yeah, I think there's a couple there. And sort of at the start of all of this, there were lots of these house party apps and great ways of connecting with everyone. And I sense that now that sort of has perhaps waned a little bit, and we're not sort of completely out of the woods yet by any means. And you mentioned second spike potentially. So just making sure that we are still staying connected with colleagues and making sure that those water cooler conversations that you might have used to have had in the kitchen are still maintained, because that's how you really build a culture, and sometimes where the real work is done and the insights are made. Secondly, at this time, we're in the summer, so hopefully people are having a chance to have a little bit of a rest. and it's a chance to reflect as well. The last 4 months for everybody in some respect has been a challenge. So what have I learned from this experience? What are the habits that I've formed that are positive? What are the things that maybe were less useful to me? And more than that, how can I take that into you know, the new world that I'm coming into? So certainly a chance to take stock, I think, as well.
Well, Tim, thanks so much as ever for your time. Really interesting getting your insights and your tips. I'm sure you're about to put on the trainers and head up the road for a 20K before dinner, but thanks again. And yeah, great to catch up.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, Steve. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.